Hello, dear friends. I'm Marina from marsstars.net. And today's video will be different from all of the other videos because we are going to talk about many things, and this week is going to be so intense. First of all, we have an equinox, which we are going to discuss in details, and we are going to make predictions for each of the 12 signs. Also, we have a full moon. Exactly after the sun enters Aries, there will be a full moon in Libra and Aries. So we are going to discuss that as well with a detailed forecast for each of the signs. I will discuss also the major influences or the important aspects during the whole week, and something different which I will do. You know that generally I record daily horoscopes which are published day by day through the week. This time I will do something different, and I will include all of the daily horoscopes in this video. And for all of those details, you will find timestamps in the description below. So if you're interested in a concrete part of all of that stuff, please find your link below the video. Please also, guys, let me know if this format works for you, because I have received many requests from people who would like to get the daily information earlier. So that's why I'm trying this approach. So please let me know if you like it, if you find it helpful. So, as I said, the week is extremely interesting, and this is the beginning also of the new astrological year. The equinox, or the time when the transit sun enters the sign Aries. The beginning, that's actually our astrological new year. And this is a brand new beginning, basically. For different people, of course, it can affect different life area, and we are going to discuss that as well. But generally, keep in mind that the energy becomes much more dynamic. So you may notice that around the middle of the week, things can change significantly. And currently we have the transit sun in Pisces, which is great for spiritual stuff, for connecting deeper to your inner self, or for meditation, spiritual practices, and so on. But when the transit sun enters Aries, which will happen on the 20th, basically on Wednesday. So here are my notes in case you're wondering what I'm looking at down here. I have them written here. So on Wednesday, basically, we have this ingression. And the sun will stay in Aries basically for 1 month as usual. And this is the time when we may feel a stronger desire to do something. So it's not only about our experiences or emotions or spiritual stuff, it's about taking action. Aries is a cardinal fire sign, so it's about starting something. It's about initiating something. It's about being brave. And sometimes it's scary. Sometimes we want to do something, but we hesitate. Well, when the sun enters Aries, you may feel this boost of energy, especially in the house where the transit sun will be in your house, in your horoscope, which we will discuss right now. So this is the area where you can start something, where you might be braver, where you can do something brand new, and even take some risks. Aries basically is the sign which takes the biggest risks. Aries is very impulsive sign, very energetic, very dynamic. So all of those qualities are coming up on the surface, and they're more available to all of us. So let's discuss actually how this can affect each of the 12 signs. And here I will also talk about the the full moon and the equinox, because as we said, right after the sun enters Aries, which happens on Wednesday, on the 20th, literally in a couple of minutes after that, we have a full moon in Libra and Aries. So you can understand that 2 life areas in your life will be really active during the week. So let's start with Aries, and your prediction. Of course, for you, this would be a very important week when the sun enters your own sign. By the way, this applies both to sun and ascendant signs in Aries. So you guys can feel extremely empowered and braver because the transit sun will be in your first house. So generally during the next 1 month, it's a great time to start new things, to focus more on yourself, on your personality, on your own desires and your plans, and just to do things. The sun is a very positive planet. Basically, that's the major source of energy. So the transit of the sun in our own chart can show us where we can be happier, or what kind of activities or projects or life areas can help us to feel more energized. So everything which concerns you and your plans and your actions and everything that you are doing can bring you more of this energy, which is very fiery, very dynamic. So for you, this is really, really great news. Now, on the other hand, the full moon will activate also your 7th house and your 1st house. The moon is in your 7th house, which means that the main topic is about relationships. Maybe it would be a time when you can reconsider some of your current relationships or partnerships in terms of business, in terms of personal life, friendships, romances, or maybe your spouse. And this is also the time when you can achieve something actually in regards to this area. Maybe a new type of partnership, or some partnership which has already been started can bring you concrete results and materialization. Because we shouldn't forget that the moon is a very material planet. And when we have a full moon, this is the time when we can materialize something. This can be like the culmination of certain process. So great time for you actually to materialize something in terms of your relationships or partnerships. And you need to find the balance. The full moon also requires finding a balance between your 1st and 7th house, which means your personality, your own desires, and on the other hand, your partner or his desires or his plans. So this is like the major topic of the week for you. And I think that this can be really interesting and really exciting, because generally this full moon is about the relationships and the communication and the mutual understanding and those type of connections, me and you, when we are equal basically with other people. So interesting week for your own projects and also for your relationships. Okay, next we have Taurus. For Taurus, this the transits on the equinox will activate your 12th house, which means that this is a time to slow down a little bit. Take your time to relax or to reassess the past. Don't push yourself, don't rush things. Just take this time to make a reassessment of the last 1 year. This is the time when you can complete certain things. We may finish with them. They might be really positive for you. Or if there is something which didn't work for you or something that you don't really like, this is the time to leave it behind you. So that next month, when basically the sun enters Taurus, your own sign, you will be ready for the fresh new beginning, and you will take only the stuff that you need and you want in your life. So time of reassessment, time to take a rest, to relax, to slow down, to listen to your intuition. If you're a spiritual person, if you believe in the spirits or in the connection with our higher self, then it would be great. And actually, this is the time to focus on those things. Connecting to your inner self, to your unconscious mind, if you will, to your intuition, the spirits who are guiding you, or wherever you take your energy from, basically. So interesting period, especially for, you know, some processes which are not necessarily visible for other people. Usually when the sun is in our 12th house, like for you during the next 1 month, this is a time when you may even prefer to stay more on your own. You may not be willing so much to socialize or to spend time with other people, and you really need this time alone, time to recharge, to reassess, to reevaluate, and to prepare for the upcoming new beginning. Now, also the full moon, which is on Wednesday, on the 20th, will activate your 6th and 12th house. So basically the moon is in 6th house, and this is the area where you may achieve something, you may have a concrete result or a materialization, and also the time when you can set free from something or release something. And 6th house is about your responsibilities. It's about your work and also your health. So these are one of the major topics that you really need to focus on. And generally this axis, 6th and 12th house, this is one of the axes related to our health. So this is a great time actually to make some kind of diet or purification or some kind of exercises or anything which can help you actually to balance your health. If you have any unhealthy habits, also great time to release them, great time to try to set free. And when it comes to work and business, also time when you can change something about your schedule or about the working process or the communication with coworkers. A time when certain work or business project can basically have a culmination or some kind of concrete result. So it could be a productive time specifically for work and responsibilities. But one of the main questions that this full moon brings to you is how to find the balance between work and rest. How much time you're spending on your responsibilities, on your the things that you are doing in terms of other people or for other people. And on the other hand, how much time do you find for yourself and for your own things, or for your finding out your own balance, basically. So that's the main thing which you can face with during this week. And not only this week, but also during the next 1 month. Okay, so occasionally I will need to drink some water because it's gonna be a long video. So next we have Gemini. For Gemini, the transit sun will enter your 11th house on the 20th on Wednesday and will stay there for 1 month. Time to focus more on your community or the people that you communicate with or your friends, and also your ideals. 11th house is not only or not specifically about our goals. The goals are more connected to 9th house, but 11th house is about the things that we are idealizing or some kind of dreams which we want so badly or which are so important for us. And usually there is some kind of idealistic element. So it could be about material stuff as well, but usually there is some kind of idea that truly inspires us, that we want to share with other people, or maybe we want to make some kind of change in our community or socially to have an impact. So great time for you actually to focus more on the social life. After all, this is generally an important topic for Gemini people, sun and ascendant as well. So time to communicate more, time to connect with friends or with groups of people who share similar interests like you, and also time to focus on those ideals. Maybe you already have this vision about your ideal or certain dream or something that you want to achieve. Then in this case, it would mean that this 1 month is great to focus on those things and try to achieve them and try to materialize them. But in case that you don't have this clear vision or something so which you're idealizing, then it would be a great time to ask yourself, what is it that is so important for you that you want to achieve, which is like a dream, which will have an impact possibly also for other people, or which is so important that you're really ready to focus and devote your time on it. And don't forget other people. Typically, the typical Gemini won't forget it, but just to remind you that 11th house requires the help or the support of other people. And sometimes they can be your dearest friends. In other cases, they might be people who you have met recently, but they share similar ideas like you. In both of those cases, it's important to keep this communication flowing and exchange of ideas with this group of people, and really allow yourself to be inspired by them and also to inspire others as well. Of course, for different people, it will have a different manifestation. It would mean something different, but the general idea is related to this group inspiration or inspiration from other people. Okay, and also the full moon, which is on the very same day, on Wednesday, the 20th. This full moon will activate also your 5th house, so both 5th and 11th house, which means that the moon is in your 5th house, and this is the area where you can materialize something. It can be something which you have already worked on, like, for example, some kind of creative project. Or maybe you can make some kind of shift in this area. Like, for example, let's say that you are working on something creative, whether you are an artist or someone who has a hobby. This can be a time when you may really focus on this, or you can make a shift, or you may realize that your goals are different in regards to this area. And of course, love life. This is one of the major topics related to 5th house. So great time actually to achieve something or to materialize something in terms of your personal life. For some of you, this could be a romantic relationship or falling in love, and not necessarily falling in love with a person. Sometimes you may just, love what you are doing. Basically, that's typical for artists, for creative people. They really love what they are doing and what they are creating. And this is just a time when you may enjoy life, when you may value what you already have. Even if it's not as much as you want it, but just to be able to realize that you are happy and you have things to be grateful for. Another topic which is also very important, children. People who have children may focus on this, or their children may go through some kind of shifts or changes. Or for some people, for example, a major topic could be having children or getting pregnant. Of course, this applies to some people, not to everyone, but if you are interested in that, then this could be a period when you may materialize this idea. Or if you haven't been interested up until now, maybe you can ask yourself some questions. What is it that you want in terms of having children? So entertainment, hobbies, creativity, love. And one more thing also about 5th house. This is the house of taking risks. That's why we can understand that there is also a connection with love, because love is about taking risk. If you allow yourself to be vulnerable, to open up your heart and share feelings towards someone else, or just, allow yourself to experience attraction towards someone else, then it's some kind of risk, taking some kind of risk. So 5th house includes all kinds of risks. And this could be a time when you may feel capable of taking certain risks or doing something which you are not completely sure of the outcome or the final result, or what exactly you will receive. So these are the major topics for Gemini. Next, we have Cancer. For Cancer, this would be a very important month and also a full moon because it activates the cardinal axis. So on the 20th, on Wednesday, we have the sun entering your 10th house and mine as well. I'm a Cancer rising. And on the very same day, we also have a full moon in 4th and 10th house. So major life theme is activated, major topics are activated in our lives. First of all, when the transit sun is in your 10th house, of course, one of the major topics for you will be career. Social realization, social work, business. For some people, if they have their own business, this would be a great time actually to focus on that, to concentrate on that. But even if you work for somebody else, this could be a time when you may just start a new project, or maybe apply for a promotion, or try to materialize something in regards to this area. So in one way or another, it's about achieving visible results, because 10th house is the highest point in the chart. So if you imagine the horoscope as a circle, basically that's why how we visualize it. Here, the highest point, or 12 o'clock, is where your MC is, and that's the beginning of 10th house. So literally, this is the highest point, or if you imagine the sun there, this is at lunchtime when the sun is the brightest, and basically we can see everything. So the main idea here is that the things that you are doing are more likely to be noticed by others, especially in terms of work and social stuff, not necessarily your personal life as well. But you have to be prepared that it's time to stand up or attract attention or reveal something that you have worked on. And how we do that is shown by the sign of the sun, which is Aries. So it means that we need to be brave, we need to be initiative, we need to be energetic to do something, to take action. That's very important. And also take risks. So the house position of the sun or any other planet shows you the life area which is activated, but how it's gonna manifest, or the qualities, are shown by the sign. So Aries as a sign shows us how we can do that through being active and initiative and taking risks and all of those Aries stuff. And where we should do that, for Cancer, it means 10th house. So it means in terms of your career or your business or some kind of social work. For some people, this could be charity work, or something that you are doing for others, but something which has a social impact. So for Cancer, definitely an important month. Basically, the whole month is important for you guys. And another thing which is also related to 10th house is a communication with authority figures. Those can be some government institutions or people who are authority figures, like some kind of managers or bosses, or people who have more power than you. This would be a great time actually to communicate with those people, or ask for advices, or for support, or for some kind of guidance as well. And the full moon, which is on the very same day, on Wednesday, activates your 4th and 10th house. So basically, the moon is in 4th house. As I said, this is one of the cardinal axes in the chart, so generally an important period. And also time when you may change something, especially in terms of your home, or the place where you are living, or your family members. And this may also be a period of a culmination or achieving some kind of results. So for some people, let's say this could be a time when they can take the decision to change something in terms of their home. It could be the decoration, it could be deciding to move or to relocate, or a member of your family may bring this change. But one of the major topics here is to find the balance between your personal life or family life, and on the other hand, your career or your social realization. So that's very important. Generally, family and fourth house is an area which is typical for Cancer. So that's another reason why this full moon will be very important for Cancer people. Okay, so excuse me, guys. Next, we have Leo. The equinox, or the sun, which will enter Aries for you guys, will enter your 9th house, which happens on Wednesday. I already said it a couple of times, so excuse me for that. This is a very interesting period and very positive period, because the sun will make trine, or a positive supportive aspect, with your sun or ascendant, in case it's in Leo. So generally, 9th house, to be honest with you, 9th house is really one of the most positive houses in the chart, one of my personal favorite houses, because first of all, it's related to knowledge, some kind of education, or anything which opens up your mind or brings you a new perspective or allows you to change your beliefs, or the things that you are generally focusing on. So great time to reevaluate your belief system and to focus more on positive things. Because during the previous month, the transit sun has been in your 8th house. Sometimes this could be a dark period when you might be too serious about life, or maybe even worried or afraid or suspicious of life, or have some trust issues. Generally, this is one of the more challenging periods. But now this shift is very significant when after 8th house, the sun moves to your 9th house, which you are about to experience really soon. And this would be a great time to concentrate on your goals, on something that you want to materialize in the future, that you want to achieve. And those can be some long-term goals. So not something related to the next 1 month, but something long-term, maybe even for 1 year, for 2 years, or more. So think about your priorities, your highest goals and dreams, and focus on that. You may just, try to make a plan, try to be more concrete about those goals, or you may also start to take some action and do something concrete about all of those goals of yours. Another thing which is also important for 9th house is about education. Especially if you're learning something, if you're a student, or maybe you're going through some additional qualification, this is also a very productive time. If you are not a student, then this would be a great time to read new things, especially if they're more philosophical, especially if they open up your mind for new things. And why not also focus more on astrology? Because astrology is very interesting. Astrology is related both to 8th and 9th house. 8th house because that's an occult knowledge. It's kind of secret, not literally secret, but it's not for everyone. And 9th house, it's about, because it opens up your mind and it helps you to understand something beyond yourself, or to connect to a higher power, if you will. So great time also to learn something new about astrology, or anything else that you are really interested in. It literally can be philosophy, by the way, or psychology, or anything which will help you in the future in any way. Let's see, also another major topic, of course, traveling, especially long distance traveling. This could be, going in the United States. This could be just, traveling in a different state. For the smaller countries, usually 9th house represents places which are abroad, but in the US, it can just be a different state. So long distance traveling and This could be for fun, this could be for business, or for whatever reason, but great time for that. Of course, we remember Mercury is retrograde, so be careful with the planning and the schedule and the document stuff, but generally the Sun in Aries will support you. Plus, actually, Mercury will be retrograde until the 28th of March, and the Sun will be in Aries until, you know, the second half of April. So at some point, this would be a great period for traveling, even if you wait for Mercury retrograde to pass. Okay, and the full moon, which is also on Wednesday, on the 20th, activates your 3rd and 9th house. So the moon is in your 3rd house and the sun is in your 9th house. And again, here, you need to change something about your mindset. The moon in 3rd house asks you to reevaluate something about your ideas, your way of thinking, probably more in terms of practical things or everyday stuff or communication with other people or maybe opinion about other people. So focus on that. And also it's about finding the balance between 3rd house and 9th house. And here the difference is that 3rd house is about the analytical, the practical way of thinking, and 9th house, it's about, you know, the philosophical way of thinking. So find the balance between those things. You shouldn't be too much in the practical side, meaning to be, you know, too materialistic and focus too much on the everyday stuff, but you also shouldn't be flying in the skies and, you know, not staying in touch with reality and being grounded. So balance in terms of your ideas or plans. Another thing also is that 9th house represents the long-term goals or the general goals of yours, and 3rd house represents more the small tasks that you plan in order to get where you want to in the future. So try to change something in terms of your daily approach or daily tasks, or the small things that you are doing. This can be something great for you, actually. And another area where you may achieve something or materialize something is also friendships. Maybe you may restart some kind of friendships because Mercury is retrograde. That's why we talk about restarting. Or also you may focus on some kind of ideas that you may have, especially for people who work more in the intellectual area. This can be actually a very productive time, and you may have some visible results in regards to this area. So generally, interesting period, especially in terms of knowledge, in terms of plans and goals, and your mindset. So don't forget about this. All right, we are almost at the half. Next, we have Virgo. For Virgo, on the 20th, on Wednesday, the transit sun will enter their 8th house. And yes, guys, this is not one of the funniest or most joyful positions, because you might become more serious about things, or sometimes you may even have a more pessimistic attitude than necessary. So keep that in mind and don't dramatize too much. Typically, Virgo people don't dramatize easily, but if you fall into this trap, you know, to feel kind of sorry or to feel like, you know, things are really dark, remember that it's probably because the sun is in your 8th house and you're seeing things from this more dark perspective, which is something temporary, and like anything else, it will pass as well. Something positive which you can do during this time is to focus more on your energy balance. 8th house represents the energy that you receive from the outside. Also, you know, this house is considered to be related to mutual resources and finances, but the main reason is because at first it's actually connected to what you receive from the outside or from other circumstances or people. So be open to receive. That's the main idea here. And you might be surprised, but in my experience, in my professional practice, I have seen so many people who have challenges with receiving, not with giving, more with receiving, which sounds really strange, but it's true. So if you're one of those people who can give easily to others, but have challenges with accepting, or there might be different reasons for that, mostly psychological, but try to work with that. Try to open, because this literally affects your energy balance and literally affects also your health. And I have seen it many times that after people overcome this, many things change for them, especially in terms of health and finances, by the way. Another thing which you can do, some kind of energy practices. It can be yoga, it can be meditation, or some Eastern practices. They can help you to channel this energy, to make certain transformations. We remember that one of the keywords for 8th house is transformation of any kind. So focus on that, personal transformation, or maybe transformation in terms of concrete life area of yours. Those can be the most positive things that you can do. And of course, financial stuff, some kind of investment, or receiving financial support from your partner or from somebody else. Or for some people, this could be receiving a credit from the bank, or doing some kind of, or bank operations or something like that. Anything in terms of the financial part can be a major priority for you during the next 1 month. And also on Wednesday, on the 20th, you have a full moon in 2nd and 8th house. So it really activates the topic of related to your resources and everything that you have, and how you manage your personal belongings and the things that you get from other people, how you spend your money, or anything that you are doing in regards to this area. And this is also a time when you may materialize something. So some kind of possessions, or some kind of material belongings, or change something about your major way of receiving an income. Or for some people, if you're self-employed, this could be affecting also your business as well. But focus on the material side, on the practical things, measurable things, financial stuff, resources of any sort. That's the major thing for Virgo. Next, we have Libra. For Libra, it's a very important month as well, because the transit sun enters your 7th house on Wednesday, on the 20th, and will stay there for 1 month. So the major topic, or the major life theme which will be important, is relationships and partnerships. So generally we know that this is an important topic for Libra people. They are interested in relationships. They feel really comfortable when they communicate with other people. So this is a time when you may feel like you are at the right place, like things are happening according to what you like and how you feel comfortable. And especially the communication with other people might be very active, very dynamic. And this is just, a great time to start a new relationship, or after Mercury goes direct, of course, after the 28th, or reassess something about your relationships, or restart. This could be positive during Mercury retrograde. So the main focus is on partnerships of any kind, business, personal, your spouse, your best friends, and how you communicate with them. And also what's interesting is that on Wednesday, the full moon activates your 1st and 7th house, which means that you need to focus also on yourself and what you are doing and how you are doing it. And the position of the moon basically shows you area where you may change something, where you may reconsider something. And when it affects your first house, you may reconsider something about yourself, about your approach, or how you connect to other people, or how you express your desires to your partner or others. So focus on the things that you can change or you can improve in yourself. And this is also a time when you may achieve something which is important personally for you, because as we know, the full moon allows us to materialize something. So when the moon is in first house, you can materialize something which you are doing on your own, or something which is personally very important for you. Probably it will include other people or someone else, or maybe your partner, because the full moon activates two houses, not one, first and seventh. And the major topic is how you connect to others and how you find the balance between your own goals and your own desires, and the desires and the needs and the goals of your partner. So generally, this is not unusual thing for Libra people. They are focused on their relationship. They are paying attention to their partner. Normally, they feel comfortable. Of course, not every Libra, but most of you guys are interested in those partnerships and close connections to others. So this next 1 month can really allow you to feel like you know what to do, or you like the atmosphere around you because it's close to your nature. Okay, so enough about Libra. Scorpio. On Wednesday the 20th, the transit sun will enter your 6th house, which means focus on practical things. Focus on work, responsibilities, maybe things that you are doing for other people, or if you are taking care of others, this may also be a major topic or important life theme for you during the next 1 month. And also, this is a great time actually to focus and to concentrate on your health. Is there something that you would like to change? Is there something that you can improve in terms of your health, or maybe your habits? So great time to concentrate on that. And because the sign is a fire sign, Aries, it's about start something in this area, or do something concrete, initiate something. So for example, if you want your health to improve, then be initiative. Search who are the people who can help you, some kind of specialist or therapist, or what kind of actions you can take in order to improve your health. So it's very important actually not to stay passive and to wait for the circumstances or people or other things from the outside, but instead to be the one who starts the process or searches for the solution. That's very, very important. And also, this would be a great time, speaking of starting things, also to start something in regards to business or work. This could be something which is your own. Again, we remember that until the 28th, Mercury is retrograde. So if you really want to start something brand new, then wait for until the 28th at least. But if you would like to restart something in terms of your business, then you can do that right now. There is absolutely no problem. And also the communication with coworkers might be very important and can bring you some kind of results. So try to find more clients, or try to find people who can advise you, or search for the actions which can help you to improve work or business. And I know that sometimes, especially people who are employed, who work for someone else, and when they hear about those things and they say, well, it doesn't really depend on me, there are so many things around me which define everything in terms of my work. Well, the truth is that you can always do something. starting from your own approach, from your attitude, from your mindset, from your actions, you can always change something. It's not always easy, but you can always do something. If you are completely unhappy and you don't feel appreciated, then the one thing that you can do is quit, or at least search for something better before you quit. So there is always something that we can do, and try to apply this mindset. It will just help you, nothing else. So work, responsibilities, taking care of others, being more focused on your daily routines, being more practical, organizing things. These are the major topics for you guys during the next 1 month. Now, the full moon, which interestingly enough also happens on Wednesday, on the 20th, will activate your 12th and 6th house. So the moon is in 12th house, the sun is in 6th house. So that's the time when you may use more your intuition. 12th house is about the invisible things, the invisible world, or your subconscious mind, your intuition. So if you try to connect to it, you can only benefit. And you may intuitively find solutions for certain problems or issues that you want to solve. Or you may receive some kind of guidance. And sometimes it's just, finding the solution from nowhere. And it doesn't have to be like, somebody from the outer world is speaking to you in your mind. For most people, it doesn't happen like that. It's just that internally you find the solutions or the answers that you seek. So one of the best things I would recommend you is find some time for a meditation or relaxation, or just to, quiet a little bit your mind. Staying in silence really allows you to connect more to your subconscious mind. If you can and you like to meditate, that's great as well. If it's something which you don't like or you're not experienced, just find time to be more on your own and ask yourself, what is it that you truly want, or how you can improve something, and find this time for finding your inner balance. It's very, very important. Another thing which you also need to try to handle with is to find the balance between how much you work and how much you relax. And you really need to, especially if you are a workaholic, if you are constantly engaged with some kind of activities or projects, if you always have many things on your list, then try to find some alone time. Some time when you may recharge yourself and find your inner peace and inner balance. And the interesting thing is that after that, you are more productive and you can achieve more. So it's really about relaxing your mind. That's what can really help you. Okay. So next we have Sagittarius. On Wednesday the 20th, the transit sun will enter one of the most positive houses in the horoscope, your 5th house. So you are one of the luckiest people during the next 1 month, because 5th house is just about anything that you love. It's about literally your love life and romantic life. It's about your children, creativity, hobbies, entertainments, parties, having fun. Different people have fun in a different way. Some people need to go outside to socialize, to have those, noisy parties, and they need many connections with others. That's how they have fun. Other people may have fun in a quieter way, for example, staying alone, reading an interesting book, or working on your craft, or drawing something, or going outside on some kind of dancing classes, for example. Everyone finds their own way. But the most important is to focus on the things that charge you. And usually these are activities that you just love, that you don't do because, you know, you're searching for concrete result or because it will bring you money or something like that. You'll do it because you love it, and you would do it. It doesn't matter whether you receive money or not. You would still do it even if you don't receive money for that. And of course, love life, romances, new dates, falling in love. While Mercury is retrograde until the 28th, it could be restarting on a previous love or relationship with a partner from the past, or anything else which helps you to be inspired, to feel connected to yourself. Don't forget also that fifth house is the house of the sun. So basically, the sun in fifth house is at the right place, at the strongest position. And the sun is about your own desires, your personality. So in some way, it's also a call for being more selfish in a healthy way, of course. So don't neglect your own desires. Don't make constant sacrifices for other people. Don't forget about the things that you love. And just enjoy life. That's the best thing that you can do, and you are really lucky during this 1 month. That's just one of the most joyful periods usually. So find your own way actually to bring this joy into your life, because as we remember, Aries, where the sun is a cardinal fire sign. So it requires for you to be the person who initiates, who takes the action, who starts something, who takes the risks. So go outside and do the things that you like and initiate the things. If you are interested in someone, then go and share your feelings or ask them on a date or connect with more people. If you are single and you want to find love and you don't have an interest in a particular person, then just go outside and meet more people which potentially might be interesting to you. So here the focus is really on our actions. We shouldn't forget about this. All right, and also on the 20th, on Wednesday, we have a full moon, which will be in Libra and Aries. And for you guys, it will activate your 11th and 5th house. So the moon is in 11th and the sun is in your 5th house, which means that you may need to change something about your ideals, something about your dreams in terms of friendships or communities or communication with groups of people, friends and others. You may change something, you may reconsider something. Or for some people, by the way, it's also about finding balance between what your heart is telling you and also what your mind is telling. The heart is represented by 5th house. The mind, the intellectual side, is represented by 11th house. So find this balance. For different people, this may mean different things. But the change here is more in the mind, because yeah, I'm doing this sign. It doesn't mean that you are crazy. It's just, you know, it came like that. Yeah. So change something about your mentality, your mindset, your ideas. That's what can help you actually maybe to look at things from a different perspective. And the moon, the position of the moon is the one which indicates the change, or also the materialization of something, achieving something concrete, something visible, something which you may evaluate. So you may materialize some of your ideals, some of your goals, something which is extremely important for you, something which includes other people, community, or basically anybody else who is important to you. So really interesting time for you, and time to take some important decisions, mostly related to your own personal desires and on the other side your ideas. And the truth is also that I have noticed many people have inner conflicts between their desires and the ideas that they have. For example, they may really want something, that's their desire, but at the same time they have the mentality or the idea that it's impossible, or it's extremely hard, or it won't work for them, it won't happen to them. So these are one of the topics that you can work with during this full moon and the 2 weeks after that, and try to release those limiting beliefs, limiting ideas, what you believe is impossible for you or you will not be able to achieve, and so on. Okay, so next we have Capricorn, my dear sun sign friends. On Wednesday, the 20th, the transit sun enters our 4th house and will stay there for 1 month. So a major topic, a major theme for us will be home and family. I was trying to say that at the same time. Home and family, yeah. So what you can do together with your family, what you can do for them, or something related to the place where you're living, to your home. This is also a time to stay more at home or more on your own, to pay more attention to your personal life, to your private life, private experiences. So it's not so much about what other will think or what other will see. It's about working on the things that are important to you personally. And for different people, this may work in different ways, but 4th house also represents the child in us. So for many Capricorns, this might be a time to think, what does your inner child want you to do? What does it need for you? Does it need more joy or more nurturing or more time with the people who you love? Ask yourself those questions. This might be a very productive time to work with the inner child, or probably for some people even some childhood traumas or experiences that you need to transform in some way. From a more practical perspective, of course, this is a great time to improve something at home, something which will bring you more joy, or to go and spend more time with your family members, parents, or your children, or any other people that live together with you. So the focus is more on private things, personal life, the closest people around you, all kinds of relatives as well. And another thing also important for 4th house is that it represents our roots, our connection with the earth, our connection with the generations before us. And it's very important for how stable we feel in life. If you don't feel this connection, usually you have some challenges with stability. And this is a great time actually to find ways to feel more grounded, more connected to your family or to the generations before you, or just to the earth, literally, to be more grounded. Great practices actually during this 1 month. On Wednesday, the 20th, another thing that we also have is a full moon. Interesting full moon which activates your 10th and 4th house, which means finding the balance between career, work, social realization, reputation as well. And on the other hand, your personal life, your family needs, your inner personal needs as well. The moon in 10th house from one side can show materialization in terms of some business projects. Something that you have previously started may manifest or may have some kind of culmination, or can bring some kind of concrete result for you. Another thing is also to make some kind of shift, some kind of change, because the moon allows us to do that. The position of the moon from the full moon shows you where you can make those shifts and changes. Not necessarily life-changing events or shifts. They might be important for you personally or important for the current period, but you may still take advantage of those shifts if you apply them. And also what you can do is change something in terms of your reputation. If you want other people to have a different impression for you, to remember you in a different way, this is also time to think about those topics. One more thing also is that it would be a great time to release something that you don't like, something that you don't need, or which is not already needed. So release it. It could be a business project which is not really working well for you, or communication with people related to your business, or any idea, any approach, anything that you are doing which doesn't bring you the needed results. Let it go. Change it. Make the shift. Don't be afraid of that. The full moons, especially when Mercury is also retrograde, allows you to reevaluate things and to have a different perspective about life, about what you want. For Capricorn, in this concrete case, specifically related to your work, career, reputation, social achievements, and yeah, those things mainly. So interesting period, because that's one of the cardinal axes, and they are the most important in our horoscope. Next, we have Aquarius. For Aquarius, this full moon will activate your 9th and 3rd house. So actually, before that, let me talk just about the transit of the sun. So on the 20th, on Wednesday, the sun will enter your 3rd house and will stay in 3rd house for 1 month. Great period to concentrate on ideas, on communication, intellectual work of any kind. Nowadays, many people in some way are connected to 3rd house through social media, or people in sales or in marketing or in trading, or people who travel, or people who teach others or work with information. Many people nowadays are connected to 3rd house, including me, of course. So for you Aquarius, this is a great time to concentrate on those ideas, on maybe things related to marketing or sales or information. Basically, the most general thing which applies almost to anyone is information. Nowadays, we all need some information of any kind. So you may find valuable information or some details that you can work with. You may have some ideas that you may materialize or focus on. You may notice that your mind is more productive, more active, that there is lots of dynamics happening here. So great time. And 3rd house is also very practical. It's about, you know, walking on earth, walking on the ground, and doing the things that you should do, focusing on the small tasks, and yes, being grounded, but also having a more detailed approach. So not just, you know, having the vision or the dream or looking only at the future. It's more about being present, looking at what is happening right now, what you can do right now. These are basically the best things that you can do. Learning new things as well. Great time to learn some practical skills. So It's not so much about the philosophy, the deeper understanding, or diving really deep into certain topic. It's about learning concrete things, concrete skills, which you can apply immediately or really soon. Usually those are more like short-term trainings or educations or some courses, or why not books as well. Anything which will be a source of information, a source of new ideas, which will only awaken more your mind, which will make you more creative, especially intellectually. Also fantastic time for traveling, especially after Mercury goes direct after the 28th. Wonderful time to travel, to have some variety, to experience something new in your life, to meet new people, to create, to establish new contacts. Also, for some people, this may include working with documents or papers, or something technological can be important as well. And as we already know, on the 20th, so on Wednesday, also you have a full moon, which activates not only third house, but also ninth house. The moon is in ninth house, which shows the area of life where you may change something, where you can achieve material results, or something important might be like, like getting an insight about something, or a new vision, a new perspective. And especially in your case, this may apply because ninth house is about the vision. It's about insights and some beliefs, or understanding things which are not always so obvious, which are not so much related to the logic. So great time to change something about your beliefs, your ideas, your general understanding about things, and also your goals, especially long-term goals, something that you want to achieve in the future, something that you are dreaming about. Be honest, ask yourself, are your goals really what you still want to do? Because very often we have certain goals or dreams, and at that point that applies to us, but at some point something changes within us or in the outer circumstances. And I have noticed that some people have challenges with admitting that they need to change their goals. They need to reconsider. It's not about giving up as as like you are a weak person. It's not like that. It's just that you realize now you have some different priorities. That's completely okay. That's the better approach in my opinion. So goals, vision for the future, and for some people also opportunities for traveling or anything which has to do with working abroad or communication with people who are abroad. Those topics are really important for you guys. Okay, and the very last sign, Pisces. For Pisces, on Wednesday the 20th, the transit sun will enter second house, which will where it will stay for the next 1 month. So more focus on practical things, on things that you can measure, things that you can touch, things that you can evaluate. We know that normally, or the regular Pisces person is not so grounded, is not so practical, not so focused on material things. So for you, from one side, this is a challenge, but at the same time, it's time when you may learn something, when you can improve at something. So it's easier to focus actually on those practical material stuff, which normally may look a little boring or you may not be so interested in. But after all, we all live here on the earth, and whether we want it or not, we all have to earn money to pay our taxes and the bills, to take care of our children and so on. And it's time, actually, it's a great time to focus on those practical things, material, especially financial things. Maybe find a new source of income or improve your financial situation, or reevaluate your approach towards finances and how much you spend or what you spend your money on, or how you can achieve more stability in your life, also a topic of your second house. So it's really about paying attention to the practical material side of your life. And for some people, this could be a great time to buy something new, to get some new possessions, material things, and some kind of new resources, which are mostly their own, which is generally something positive. Another thing that you may focus also on is your personal energy, your physical energy. Second house is one of the health houses, mostly because it's connected to our energy. And believe me, I have seen it so many times that people who have challenges, astrological challenges related to their second house, who don't manage their energy properly, eventually it affects their health physically. So a great time actually to focus on your nutrition, on your diet, or to maybe find some kind of sources that will improve your physical energy, your vitality. So generally, again, practical thing, again, something related to the body, to the material thing that we have, which is the body. And also on Wednesday, the 20th, we have a full moon. In your case, it will fall in 8th and 2nd house. The moon in 8th house, the sun is in 2nd house. So, major topic is related to exchange of energy. How much do you give and how much do you receive from others? And what you can change about this balance. Is there something which is kind of, suffering here? Maybe you are taking too much from other people without giving them what they want or what they deserve. Or for some people, of course, the opposite scenario as well. So focus on this, on the practical things that you may change, but also the balance of the exchange of energy. And another thing which is important for 8th house is also to channel the energy. So basically, some kind of energy practices are very helpful for these meditations, yoga, anything which helps you to find a new direction for this energy, to transform it, to use it in a more constructive way. And also, it's about, from the more practical perspective, of course, it's about your expenses. So is there something that you can change, or you should, or you want to change in terms of expenses, or how you manage your finances? Another thing also, investments, or the resources which come from other people, or how much do you depend energetically, which includes also emotionally and psychologically, on other people. These are all important topics which you can work with after this full moon, so basically after Wednesday. Because for Pisces, this is kind of, something which happens, okay? Let's not say that it's typical, but it happens to depend emotionally, especially emotionally and psychologically, on others because of their sensitivity, their ability to connect to others, to be empathic, and those Pisces, Neptune stuff. Okay, so I think that we have covered the general interpretation of this interesting new beginning. So now we can talk about the other important things of the week. And basically what you should know about each of the days during the week. Let's start with Monday, the 18th of March. So I will talk about each of the days day by day and what is happening, or which are the major influences. So on the 18th, we have Mercury retrograde in sextile with Venus. This is a minor, harmonious, supportive aspect, especially in terms of communication between people. Negotiations, business communications, or communication with friends, or in terms of love relationships or romances. This is a very supportive aspect. Also, we remember that Mercury is retrograde, so potentially this can bring you relationship from the past, or meeting somebody from your past, or thinking about people from the past which you have loved, or you had some feelings or some relationships and so on. So generally, this is a harmonious, calming aspect, which may help you also to find more harmony within your mind, especially if Mercury retrograde is making you feel uncomfortable. I'm not sure how well you're handling with those things. Personally, what I have experienced so far is that my swimming MP3 player just, don't work anymore. Let's see if this is permanent, but generally I'm not sure about you, but I'm handling with this Mercury retrograde. So if you have some challenges with the transit of Mercury retrograde, this aspect may help you to find more balance, to find more harmony. Also, on Monday, the transit moon will be in Leo, which is a very positive position for some kind of hobbies or some kind of entertainment, and generally doing something that you love. Spending time with children, spending time on creative things, or some kind of hobbies and practices that brings you joy. So overall, Monday brings positive, harmonious energy. The 19th of March, Tuesday. We don't have many things actually happening during the day. The moon will be in Virgo during the whole day, which puts the focus more on our work, on our responsibilities, not so much on the fun part of life, but more on the necessary part of life. So things that we have to do, maybe take care of others, maybe clean up something at home, or be more concentrated on our work. Generally, the moon in Virgo allows you to be more precise, to be more accurate, to pay extra attention to details, small things, to pay attention to your health as well. The only major aspect that the moon will make, and actually it will happen late in the evening, is opposition with Neptune, which potentially can bring possible confusions or misunderstandings or mistakes. So make sure to check things, to be more precise, especially when also Mercury is retrograde. There is a higher chance for possible mistake. But overall, nothing so special happens on the 19th. On the 20th of March, Wednesday, we have the biggest shift during the whole week, the most intense day of the week, with the highest number of astrological events actually. We have the sun making an ingression into Aries, which we already talked about in details for each of the signs in this video. So of course this will bring a significant shift. Of course we may notice more dynamics, more desire to do something, to start something. We can be braver. Yes, we may also be more impatient. We may want, immediate results, or we might be more irritated by other people, especially if they're not as fast as we want them to, or as fast as we are. Another thing is also possible confrontations, not necessarily, but because, you know, people are more active, people are more open, more impatient, sometimes this same energy can turn into an aggression. And the aggression is not always, you know, like fighting with other people. This may just be a stronger desire to compete as well. But generally, that's the biggest shift of the year, of the week, sorry. And as we already said, this is the beginning of the new astrological year. So take some time to make a short meditation, visualization of what you would like to materialize or achieve during the next 1 year. Also on the 20th, we have this magical full moon in Libra and Aries. The major focus is on relationships and how we as individuals connect to other individuals. How to find balance, how to find more harmony in relationships. Justice is also a major topic of this full moon. How to be accurate, how to find harmony and balance, basically. The other important thing on this very day is the trine between Mars and Pluto. A very empowering aspect, one of the most empowering aspects actually. Mars and Pluto are the two planets related to our will. Mars represents the personal will, our individual willpower, and Pluto represents the collective willpower. And when you combine those two planets in a harmonious aspect, you may achieve great results. You have incredible power, strength, ability to change things, to convince people, to navigate people, to control situations, especially in terms of business and work, because the two planets are in Earth signs. Mars is in Taurus, Pluto is in Capricorn. So being more following some certain methodology, or some kind of, you know, concrete approach, or patience also can be rewarded. Hard work, extreme motivation, because, you know, Pluto brings extreme things. Pluto can help you or can make you really obsessed about certain activity. Here we talk about positive obsession, which is more like extreme passion. Okay, I think maybe we should call it extreme passion. Extreme passion about achieving something or transforming something or improving something. So a very powerful combination. The other major aspect also on Wednesday is a sextile between Mercury retrograde and Saturn, which can allow us to be much more logical, to be more reasonable in terms of our decisions, to be patient, to be capable of organizing our ideas or prioritizing things correctly or planning things, especially in terms of business. Of course, we remember that Mercury is retrograde, so things from the past might be restarted, like, for example, business negotiations or reevaluating some kind of business contract or business ideas and plans. The intuition plays an important role here because Mercury is in Pisces, so make sure to listen to your inner self. But generally, Saturn here supports Mercury to be more grounded, to be more practical and concentrated. And the last aspect for this day, I promise, is the semi-sextile between Venus and Pluto. Also, aspect which can make us more passionate, can bring more intense emotions, can help us to experience something deeper attraction, deeper desire in relationships, deeper connection with other people. So Wednesday is a big day with many, many things happening. Okay, we are done with this. The 21st of March, Thursday, two major aspects that include Venus, one challenging and one positive. First, we have a square between Venus and Mars, one of those aspects which may bring certain challenges in relationships, like jealousy, possible confrontations. At the same time, there might be more passion, there might be more fire and excitement and desire to do something together with the partner, but make sure to be gentle, to, you know, avoid the confrontations, because probably they won't be constructive. You will just, you know, it just won't support you and your partner. On the other hand, also the aspect may affect what you are doing about your desires. Venus represents the desires, Mars represents what we are doing, our actions. So if you realize that you have certain desires and you don't take action, it's the time actually to make the shift. The other aspect that Venus will make is one extremely positive aspect, sextile with Jupiter. The two benefactors in astrology are connected with a harmonious aspect. So first of all, it can bring you some new opportunities, it can bring you luck or some kind of abundance or some kind of support, by the way, also. So generally, happiness, lightness. Keep in mind that this aspect doesn't make the emotions deeper. Actually, it can make them more superficial. They come and go easier, which can support, by the way, the other difficult aspect between Mars and Venus. So we don't fall too deep into those dramas or, you know, confrontations. We are more positive, more optimistic, more open-minded. But prepare for something positive, something which can make you feel happier. On the same day, also, we have a semi-sextile between the Sun and Uranus, which can bring you some surprises, some positive changes, some excitement, ability and desire to make a shift, to change something. So overall, great aspect. And the last aspect is a quincunx between Mars and Jupiter. This aspect may require some adjustments or some patience or some efforts from our side, but eventually there might be positive results and rewards for our efforts. It's mostly about competing, about the desire to achieve more, to do more, to have more. So for people who are more active, this can be actually a very motivating aspect. And the moon will be in Libra during the day, which puts the focus on harmony and relationships and communication with other people. So overall, try to be gentle and kind. On the 22nd of March, Friday, the most important aspect, and I would say one of those really interesting aspects which we don't talk about enough, is conjunction between Venus and the black moon Lilith. Not all astrologers work with Lilith, not everyone pays attention to Lilith, but it is very important. And it is important because basically it increases the importance of the other things that it touches in our horoscope or in the transits or in progressions in every method. So the conjunction between Lilith and Venus makes our relationships even more important. The topic about romance, harmony, material stuff, resources, because Venus represents also the material stuff, they can be extremely important for us. So this is a major theme, I would say, for the whole week. The other aspect is a quintile between the Sun and Saturn. Positive aspect which can allow you to be more organized, more structured, to make some changes. There might be some kind of choices that you can make in terms of work or business or some responsibilities and obligations. But overall, this is a harmonious aspect. And the moon is in Libra during this day as well. So focus on relationships, focus on partnerships, on harmony and balance. The 23rd of March, Saturday, the moon is in Scorpio. So we have a shift here, which can be quite intense. Personally, for me, when the moon is in Scorpio, these are one of those challenging days of the month when the emotions are too intense. There might be some kind of drama, there might be some kind of sometimes crisis, or we may dramatize things more, or we might be over emotional, oversensitive. Generally, there is certain level of tension. So just prepare for that. Make a short meditation, a short yoga exercises, or training, or whatever makes you feel calmer. And during this day, the moon will make quincunx with the sun, which may help you to see things from a different perspective, perhaps transform something about yourself, about your own projects, about your own things. And when Sunday, the 24th of March, we have exact conjunction between Mercury retrograde and Neptune. Very interesting aspect, which can increase our intuition, our imagination, our creativity. Now, the challenge here is also we can be more unconcentrated, more unfocused, not so logical, over emotional. We can forget about things. There might be misunderstandings. So it sounds like there are a lot of things on the negative side, but honestly, I think that the aspect is positive. Personally, I have this aspect in my chart, so I like it. And yes, I am sometimes dreamy and not so in touch with reality, but I know that also this aspect helps my intuition and, you know, this deeper spiritual understanding. So great for meditation, for creative work, maybe not brand new ideas, but more like old ideas coming back into your mind, or, you know, coming from the subconscious mind, or from somewhere else, from the invisible world. So again, short meditation, something which can help you to silence the logical mind, this, you know, constant chit-chatting in your head. If you make it stop, then more important things will come up on the surface, which are much deeper. So yeah, interesting aspect, definitely. The moon is in Scorpio also on Sunday, on the 24th, and will make trine with Mercury and Neptune. So the moon will support them. The moon in Scorpio makes things even deeper, even more emotional, and kind of more focused on the spiritual things. So definitely I would say that Sunday is a great time for spiritual practices, for meditations, for relaxation, for something creative. So these are day by day the astrological events for the week. So if I have to summarize things, I would say that during the week, the most productive days can be more Tuesday, when the moon is in Virgo. The focus on relationships is more on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Saturday and Sunday are more about emotions, about transforming something, about spiritual things. So we are almost at the end of our long video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. Please let me know if this format works for you, if you like it, if you prefer to have anything in advance for the week so you can plan, you can schedule things. It's really important for me to know that. So thank you to everyone who shares their experiences, who watches all of those videos. Of course, I'm doing them only for you. So that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I have also another channel, by the way, which is, yeah, brand new, I would say, about personal development stuff. You will find the link below the video as well. So if you're interested, you are welcome there as well. That's it for now, and I'll see you really soon.